So yeah, I mean, as we commented before they started, this is like a completely unconference thing. So Lazar here and I many times had these kind of conversations that never actually got recorded, which is probably a good thing. So we decided to change it now, and as said, um, talk about our existence, our as a community in this space. Why the hell are we doing all this if it hurts so much? Right? So maybe you can just start with like how do you see the current
How does it hurt? Where does it hurt?
exactly where does it hurt? So
Yeah.
don't lift your
No, no,
yet
I won't.
yet.
I won't. I think that as most of us here, we got in for the tech, right? Am I speaking for both of us?
Yep.
Yeah. So the tech is awesome. Let's take it to the big man. Let's uh, let's do something that I myself I spoke about this numerous times. Like crypto Web3 gave me the opportunity to work on things that I could have only done if I was an early contributor to the kernel source code, if I was making a new database engine from scratch, which I knew nobody who was doing that. So,
You're
but
too
I,
young.
yeah, yeah,
You're too young.
and that's true. But I knew a couple of guys, you know, who were doing interesting stuff in crypto, low-level stuff, and yeah, it appeased to me to get involved with that. So it was the tech first, but the tech answers the question, you know, it hurts because it's hard. You like the pain. You get into
So
it.
like masochism, right?
Yeah, masochism. But then the pain wears off. You get used to it, and then you have to answer the question: okay, why are we doing it? Besides it being hard. I mean,
Why?
why, Miros?
No, I mean I agree with you, right? I mean we came for the tech, but what I will take my depression hat on. I'm constantly asking myself, and actually quite a few people challenge me on this, like in the last 2 days about this. Um, does anybody really, besides of us that are inside, cares about the tech?
No.
So, you know, then you look at yourself in the mirror and say, like, you know, does this really matter to anybody else than us, right? Um, it's a nice bubble to be in.
There's a we have this camp we organize for students, and one of the last. I like to finish off. It's for 10 days, and all they hear about is how cool the tech is, and they get. I hope they get in love with it. They're not just saying it, but then I find it essential at the end of it to you know, to talk about the why. I myself figured out the why like not that long ago. Um, and I love to put on a YouTube video of our friend and colleague from Protocol Labs, Marko Vukulic. You know him. He's an amazing guy. In the talk, he's doing a critique of Ethereum's proof of stake. So we'll forget about that part.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, this being Ethereum Belgrade. The thing about the entire talk is that he gets back, all the way back, to these guys, John Keynes, the founder of Keynesian economics, I don't know how to pronounce it, and John Simmons, which they reminded me of our own struggle in the late 19th century, Ustavobranitelji, the people who tried to make a constitution to limit the king's rights and stuff like that. We tried to externalize for the greater good, even after we're long gone, we tried to externalize some rules that we're sure are going to make sense and protect us from any future sovereign in a document we call the Constitution, right? So that was the first time I heard the connection between Web3, a digitally sovereign rule set, that can, be safe from us
From ourselves.
mortals.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we need to protect it from ourselves first. To talk about the AI, right?
It's funny when you think about it, but yeah.
But I mean, what I'm every now and then, and it becomes more every now than then, asking myself is, does it really work? I mean, did we actually achieve that, right? I mean, I'm trying more and more to get the perspective from the outside. I, I'm not talking about narrative, about casino, about, like all this
Human
stuff.
nature, yeah.
But, there's a new shiny toy in the town, which is AI. Suddenly the focus from, the eye of the Sauron, right, moves from Web3 to AI, which I think is a good thing because it will force us maybe to just be more exposed and to actually do a bit of retrospective. I mean, like the usual stuff, like the crypto winter is good because, it's a purgatory, right? Everyone will hate me. I will hate myself for saying this, but maybe crypto ice age would be good to actually really look at all this. Does it really make sense? Right? Can we actually achieve something with this? I mean, there were, you made a parallel with the Constitution. There are numerous constitutions in different states in the world that failed. Right? They are just piece of paper. That it happens today, right?
Let's not go
Let's not go that way.
Yeah.
Okay, but we need to try,
Yeah, I mean,
or die trying. Okay, I will take off my pessimist hat, or take a bit more rakia.
where's my racket?
It's here.
Oh,
Really? Really?
but look, it did help us achieve a lot. Like, nobody.
What do you consider like what for you when you think about big achievements? What's the first thing that crosses your mind?
Big achievements.
Yeah.
People being able to invest as retail investors, even from any part of the world. That's a big achievement. The second is AMMs. And that's it. And a lot of people got crazy rich, which is definitely a good thing for them, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So it's an achievement. But I think we can still,
We can be these persons, maybe.
no, yeah. Next cycle,
Exactly.
Next cycle, the two of us. No, but really, I think we can still keep eyes on that goal, which is how do we keep something safe from ourselves, safe from AI, where the eye of Sauron is
Yeah,
right now. It's
or
getting
malicious, any kind of malicious.
it's getting more and more important. So, but I don't come from it. A lot of people, I know a lot of projects. I myself went down that rabbit hole. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do with just digital signatures, and that you don't
Yeah,
need
we
Web3
don't need
for.
blockchain, right?
Yeah. Like, but yeah, you can have the completely audited ledger of. No, you just don't need the ledger part of it. You just need the digital signatures. But it's tamper-proof, because it's blockchain. You just need a digital signature, But the part of it that does make sense is the crypto economic guarantees. Like, you can feel the pain if you misbehave.
If you misbehave, yeah.
And you can bring down the whole, house of cards if you misbehave. Like, why would you, the nothing at stake argument, I'm going to take 2/3 of Ethereum's stake and attack the network, but it would cost so much that
But I cannot do it. That's the point.
What's your motivation?
Yeah, what's your
behind it?
incentive
Yeah.
behind?
So
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like, it's the way to go forward, right? I mean, and I like what you said about the signatures, and we don't need blockchain, but I honestly see, at least from my perspective, that let's call it like a blockchain space is a very good playground for cryptography. That cryptography advanced super fast since it got like a lot of people playing with it. to get filthy rich or whatever reason is behind that. And I also like that there's still a lot of people that are not doing it for money, right? They are doing it for a purpose, which should be the thing, right? And thank you for helping me go out of my depression. So now I have a why.
The thing is, the funny thing about, again, I'm getting back to Marco, but he finished his PhD in Lausanne in 2009. Like, he was super convinced. This is a part of the talk as well. I'm not sharing any private information. He was literally thinking, okay, I did a PhD in distributed systems. What I'm going to do for the rest of my days is, try and create better versions of Amazon S3, and try to do industrial control systems that depend on consensus algorithms, trying to do all of that. It's super interesting, or be a bookworm and stay in academia for the rest of my life. And suddenly there's this thing called crypto, where you can, apply that for class of problems we didn't know even existed.
Yep.
So definitely a catalyst for that, for a lot of branches of computer science, cryptography, distributed systems. I feel like the stuff that we did with the runtimes that's happening in Ethereum right now, it is even for compilers quite interesting. You have such a constrained system, you're trying to squeeze the last bit of performance from it, trying to squeeze
Look what
security.
we did with hardware, right, as well, right?
Yeah.
With the idea, right? I mean, whatever the driver is, but I mean, this is the playground for that as well. So yeah, a lot of good things. Game theory.
Yeah. Who else can think of something?
There were some comments, I think. Sorry?
Not having to use the banks.
The bank.
Oh yeah. For me, one of the what I consider the big victory of the movement so far is that, so for example, last 4 years I didn't use the bank at all, and it feels amazing. UX is so much better, and my transactions are not somewhere kept, and I'm not being surveilled. So for me, besides, I understand all the pessimistic view, I heard it quite often, but for me, if the only thing that we have achieved is that people can opt out of the banking system, for me it's a massive, massive victory, and it's like we did a great thing. But of course, there's so many cool things happening, and this is just the base layer, and we keep building on top of that. But yeah, it's
totally. I mean, I don't think that we can disagree with this in any way. But what I'm missing, right, is that it needs to be a possibility worldwide, right, for the masses, right? You are, they are like a very small number of people that can do that, right? They are able, now coming back to UX and to adoption and to these kind of things, but it is that, right? If we are just doing this to play between us, whatever limited number of people it is, it's not actually still making the impact in the bigger world. But having that as a goal, amazing. Right?
But it's necessity that will drive that, obviously. So I just returned from Southeast Asia, and there are people who use crypto more because that's what their system is not good enough. So more and more people gravitate towards that. So for me, I could do in Vietnam right now OTC, changing crypto to local fiat without any commission because people want crypto there. Whoever changes, they want it. So there are places like that, and indeed, just because in this part of the world people are maybe more comfortable with the existing banking monetary system, doesn't mean that not more and more people are getting awakened to that and saying, hey, I could opt out of it. Yeah, I can still use the legacy system, but I have an opportunity to use something else.
No, of course. I mean, there are places where you are limited, but there are places where you, I don't know, Lazar, what do you think? Maybe, what happened in Africa, right? The M-Pesa and stuff, you jump from nothing to mobile banking. Maybe something similar can happen in some...
I agree with the bank part. I mean, there's a lot of things that banks do, not just,
it's not only
it's not only payments, it's not only interest on savings, it's not only...
loans and stuff,
It's a lot of things. There are bridges, in a sense, and all of that. But if your role in a system is as simple as can be explained by a smart contract, for example, I mentioned AMMs, like being Bancor, Uniswap, being like for me, one of the few times in this industry when I said, "Oh my God, you can do this. This is a real application of something that I always thought you needed the people. You needed the people with two-sided books, taking care of or sell and buy orders. So in that sense, if we can explain it, is if your role as a bank is as simple as smart contract code, then you will cease to exist, definitely. So I agree with that. I think that's a good thing. I think that institutions like banks should focus on different things. Like I can imagine banks of tomorrow, if Web3 eats the world, banks of tomorrow being like wallets. Like I lost access. I am just a regular human being who cannot keep track of my social security number, let alone a private key. So I need a mechanism. I need a safety. I need a safety net. That's as much as I would love for everything to be hosted on IPFS and everything to be in self-custody. We still have a lot of work to do on that side. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Definitely, we've outgrown just the concept of blockchains. That's a good thing. There's this article that Malisha sent me this article years ago. It's called Laboratory for Complex Problems. It reminded me of the thought that you had, and it's a really interesting read whenever I feel down. I either take a look at Marco's lecture or that article where, being as chaotic, as unregulated, as dangerous as the space is, also opened
it's a field of opportunity. I mean,
and it's super, to be honest, it's super exciting. Like exciting is a word like awesome. Everybody says, it's so exciting to be on the fireside.
No, but I mean, we wouldn't be here, right? Yeah. If we didn't like this. Again, it hurts. But I mean, it needs to hurt, to achieve some good things.
What was your aha moment? Like I had with you, I think I had it with Uniswap, but I know that Uniswap wasn't the first. But
for me, actually, was, I mean, maybe not an aha moment, but like the moment when I said, like, okay, this makes sense, right? As you said, I see why. I mean, it's a bit local, right? To Spain, to Catalonia. Speaking with Jordi Bailina, who is behind CIRCOM and all this stuff, and like with the vision of liquid democracy, of an opportunity for people to be able, let's say, to decide, not only to vote, it can be different things, right? To make decisions, it's basically to empower people, right? So it's like taking power. Again, it's maybe a good parallel with the Constitution, right? It's lowering power down, right, from the center or from wherever it is, like trying to lower it down as much as possible. And it's like liberté, égalité, fraternité, right? It's like we should try to give an equal opportunity to people, and as much as idealistic, and probably we can never achieve that. But we need to try, right? It's a goal that we just constantly need to go towards, and maybe also having the experience, right, from living in society. I'm talking about here, whatever the name was of the country, that just sitting in the same place, and the name of the country just changed. We've seen a lot of things how not to do, when we could try to avoid if possible. And these kind of systems, right, when you actually try to empower people and give them their sovereign identity back to their own like ownership, that can open a lot of different things. It's an ideal, but the one that is worth suffering for.
So Web3 is inherently a political thing.
Of course, everything is politics, man.
Okay, so maybe it's great to end of this on this note. We still have a couple of minutes for questions, so I'm sure there are some.
Just wanted to
Yeah.
make a joke about this. It
Absolutely.
will not be funny, but whenever there is rakia involved, we always go back to politics.
Exactly,
So that was, yeah.
exactly. It's the way. So any questions, comments, or maybe someone has insight on why the hell they are doing it, so.
And what was your aha moment? What
Yes.
was the
Yeah,
moment
that would be nice to hear.
What we want
Yep.
to hear, yeah.
I think you guys lied at the beginning a little bit, you know. And when you said, you know, what'd you get into it? You know, why did you get into it? I think we all got into it for the money, stayed for the tech, right? You said you got in it for the tech, really? That was the first thing that kind of got you? Because I'll be honest, back in 2017, I got into Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? And it was, of course, you know, number go up. And then 2018, 2019 was when I dived in deeper. And then 2020 went full time into crypto. So that's why, I don't know, maybe somebody, really got in for the tech. But usually I think the normal transfer is interested for the financial aspect. But for me, the aha moment was actually Bitcoin. But I don't know, not a lot of people say it. It's a lot about everything Ethereum, but I think Bitcoin is still a very good foundation to think about permissionless money or permissionless store of value. So I don't think we should exclude it just because this is geared more toward Ethereum, yeah.
If I can just build on that, as his fiance, I can guarantee that he went into it for the tech, and very little money has been made in our house on crypto.
It's funny because it's true.
Luckily for Miros, his wife is not here.
I'm in red. I'm in red. No, I mean, right?
As a person working in IT and programming in Serbia, you get 20x the average salary as, you know, a meteor. You had that like 10 years ago as a person just new in the job market. So it really wasn't for the money because money was so relative. Like in your first year of professional life, you're making what your parents might make in a few years, in 1 year. So it's
outside of crypto, right?
Outside of crypto, yeah. So it really wasn't like being just in IT in Serbia back then was more than way exciting altogether. You didn't need crypto for that. So I'm not trying to appear humble. I'm just trying to explain our position back then.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, well wishes? If not, then we can do another round of applause, and thank you for the participation.